All right, let's turn now to some interesting investment plays to consider as the market rally potentially broadens beyond big tech into 2025. Thomas Hayes is with us. He's the chairman and managing member of Great Hill Capital. Tom, it's great to see you. So we were just talking about that broadening trend. If you had to pick now between large cap tech and everything else, what are you picking?
I think you follow the earnings, Julie, and thank you for having me on. What we've seen since the first quarter of this year is the Mag 7 earnings growth has decelerated from 50% earnings growth in the first quarter of this year to mid-teens. And what we're also seeing is the unmagnificent 493 have accelerated from negative aggregate earnings growth to positive, and by early next year, they will be low double digits to mid-teens. So you want to follow the earnings and the unmagnificent 493. I think that's where you're going to see things happen.
Tom, it's well, good to see you. It's been a little while. Look, it's a holiday shopping season. Give people some presents in terms of some stock picks. What do you like? What don't you like?
Well, I think the biggest surprise of 2025 is going to be that bonds get bid. Okay, we've seen since Scott Bessent was appointed as Treasury Secretary, and he put in his 3-3-3 plan, the 3% real GDP, budget deficits below 3%, and add 3 million barrels per day. Bonds have yields have come in, so that's an opportunity to buy a little longer out on the curve. As for stocks, as for Christmas presents, I got a perfect one for you. Actually, maybe two if we have time. I've got Etsy. Etsy has been left for dead. Etsy was a COVID darling. The stock is down 85%. But what most people don't realize, it's the third most trafficked retail website, 92 million users. And what's really interesting about that, Brian, is that they don't compete. It's not a race to the bottom on prices, because the things you can get on Etsy, you can get nowhere else. And this is a company that, while the stock is down 85%, they've been able to maintain all the users they picked up during COVID and maintain the free cash flow generation is re-accelerating. 600 million plus trailing 12 months, $1 billion buyback authorization, growth in international, growth in men's, growth in gifting, growth in loyalty programs. We like this one.
And of course, now I'm seeing Brian Sozzi next to me, commencing his holiday shopping by going on Etsy.
I'm looking at digital prints. I mean, maybe you're right here, Tom. I can get a digital print of my non-existent puppy and put it right there on my desk.
You go.
I mean, this what Etsy's showing here is Bailey the puppy. I mean, it's great.
So, Tom, let me ask you, though, because one of the reasons that the stock has taken such a hit has been sort of concerns about that it hasn't maintained that level of specialness, right? That there are counterfeit goods on there, that it's not as curated, et cetera. What do you think about that? Do you think Etsy's been doing a good job of sort of addressing some of those concerns?
No and yes. No, they haven't been doing a good job. That's why the stock's down 85%. Yes, they recognize the mistakes they made and they're fixing it. And that's why we're seeing a re-acceleration of growth, revenues, proper initiatives, curation, and an abandonment of what they were doing, which was trying to compete with people that they don't compete with. You know, Brian, when you go out to get that picture of your puppy, you want to engrave the recipient's name on that picture, and it will make them feel special. I mean, when you receive a customized gift from a friend or family member, it's special because they took extra time, they were thoughtful about you, versus just scattershotting 20 chocolate baskets from Amazon is not the most ideal situation anymore.